But our next speaker, I can say, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our speaker, Dr. Bahati from Uganda. She has an impressive background in broadcasting and mentoring. Her experience in positive applied psychology spans over 15 years, and she has passionately transformed lives. In 2020, Uganda named her 100 influential women, and Dr. Bahati made the list certainly because of her impact and passion towards her purpose. She's happily married to a heartthrob and friend for over 20 years and are blessed with three amazing children. Dr. Bahati will be engaging us today on the topic get up and take action. Because we say there's one thing to complain about the problem, but you need to seek solution. And by all means, when you find it, take action immediately. Her profile is extensive, but we have her now here on call. Please confirm that you are ready for us. Dr. Bahati, please let us know if we're ready, if she's ready. Can we
Sure, I'm
spotlight
ready.
her? Okay, welcome. We apologize. We were expecting you at the beginning. Thank you so much for being patient until your time. We appreciate you looking lovely this evening, this
Thank
afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. You were supposed to carry us on, taking us into the topic. Say get up and take action. So we're ready for you to give us more insight on your topic, and then we pick up with our Q&A from there. So you have the floor. I'm using it to you now.
Okay, thank you, thank you. It's such an honor to be here. I know that in Uganda, where I speak from right now, it's actually 6 minutes past 11 p.m. But I know there are so many Ugandans here, even when it's going to midnight. There's so many Ugandans on this platform, and then so many people from all ends of the world. I've been following the chat, I've been following the WhatsApp group, and you are doing an amazing job. To the organizing team, this is a commendable job. Thank you so much for putting us together, bringing us together to share and be able to sharpen each other and be able to grow together. My heart goes out to the women. My heart goes out to the women that are ambitious, that are go-getters. They want to grow. They are unstoppable. They're not giving any excuses. And what a better way to actually talk about get up and take action. My profile has been forwarded or gone through, so I'm not going to go through that. But I will start where I needed to actually pivot and get up myself, because it's one thing to just talk about it, and it's another thing to actually experience it. So many times I have come to a crossroad in my life, but the very particular crossroad that really was painful and a very rough spot in my life is when I'd actually slid and fallen into a heartbreak, into brokenness, and into a place of confusion where I didn't know where the next step was taking me and what I was actually going to do. I was already doing business. I did my first bachelor's in IT, that is information technology. I knew that was not my passion. And I knew that was a ladder that was leaning against a very wrong wall. And I knew that I was not passionate about that. I crossed into the world of business. Into the world of business, I got so many storms, and I found myself down with nothing to eat, with no work, without anything to actually hold on to. And I felt rejected by the world. I felt like I was the worst thing that has ever happened to the world. But in those moments, I think for me, my greatest comeback and my greatest bounce back comes from those moments. When you say get up is actually an active participation. It's not something that you do passively. It's not something that you point fingers at anyone and say, I am in this ditch because my mother, I'm in this ditch because of my father, I'm in this ditch because of the boyfriend, the fiancé, the husband, or the wife that actually broke my heart. I'm in this ditch for, like, no one should take, shouldn't give that you shouldn't give that responsibility to anyone. You should be able to take it up and say, okay, I need to participate in my only getting up. And when you're getting up, you realize that it's a decision that you really, really have to make. So I made a decision. I remember one particular night, I even didn't have anything to eat. This should have been more than 20, 17 years ago, 20 years ago. I didn't even have anything to eat. My family was looking at me. I was heartbroken. I was broke. And I usually use a statement for those of you that are here and we have been into the mentorship together. I made a statement and made a covenant with myself, together with my God, that I will never be broke and broken again. Because I remember I went to a certain market, and on my way from school, I had gone back to school because I was trying to pivot. I was trying to change my life. I was trying to reposition my life because my life had not worked out until then, and I needed something totally different. So I went through this rough patch and I went through this market. I had 200 shillings. Now, I don't know how you can convert that in your currency, but 200, like it's, I don't know, the least amount of money anyone can ever have. Like it's
Like
just one coin.
1,000 naira.
So I went, 1,000 naira, that sounds quite like a lot of money. I don't know. But the 200 shillings that I had, I went through a market and I remember talking to a certain woman and I told her, you know what, I am really hungry. I don't know what I can get with this coin. And so she looked at me. She must have looked at me and thought about her daughters and said, if any of my daughters were ever in this place, someone should be able to help them. So the lady gave me a bucket of carrots in the market. So I got the bucket of carrots and went to my room where I used to stay. It was a one room with just a bed and with a simple plastic carpet. And I remember getting to that room and I failed to eat even a single carrot, not even half or quarter of carrot. I remember getting down to the bed and sitting down on the carpet and weeping. I cried for 3 good hours. And I said, I never want to be in this place again. I never want to be in a place where I am begging. I never want to be in a place of lack. I never want to be in a place where I am broke. And I never want to be in a place where I am broken and broke. No, I think there's something better for me. And I remember promising myself that the following morning I would walk and foot to town and be able to look for something to do. And indeed, I did exactly that. And when I took that chance, I made a covenant with myself and said, God, never, never in my life will I ever be broke. If it means sweeping, if it means being an office messenger, if it means being in a restaurant, I am going to do something. Right now, I don't have the luxury to say no to anything. And indeed, in the morning, I woke up, walked to town, and I remember my life transformed in just that one day. I met a
Yeah.
man who was willing to mentor me, a man that I called my American uncle, a man that loved me so much. When he looked at me and told me, what should I do for you? I told him, you know what? I have a passion. I have things that I want to do, but I'm at a crossroad. I even don't know what to do. And that is the vulnerability. Some of us, while we are waking up, we want to just wake up or get up and just go without even consulting, without asking. There are people that are willing to help. This gentleman was willing to. I met him at a restaurant. And he took me in, we conversed. And I remember he threw options, not money. When it comes to heartbreak, he told me, you know, men are like motorcycles. One motorcycle goes, in Uganda, we call them boda boda. When a motorcycle goes, another one comes. So you should not weep endlessly over spilled milk. Get yourself up and get going again. And that statement changed my life. I know that I cannot give a full blown, but
For
when we get into
yeah,
the questions, I know that we'll be able to
question.
talk about it.
Okay, thank you. That was you gave us your life journey. And I know that a lot of people can resonate with what you have been through, currently going through it, or have gone through it. And you just said what changed your life where so many things, but money was never part of it. Somebody gave you a word, a statement, gave you something, a tool that helped you transform yourself. So change is not some always about money. It could just be a word of encouragement to say, hey, you pick up this thing, let's go. Stop this, get up. Don't worry, another day is going to be good. Those words can change anybody's life. So thank you so much for sharing your life on this platform with a lot of people. We appreciate the vulnerability. We thank you for putting yourself out there. And I know a lot of people have connected with your story. let's go on and ask questions that will give us more insight on what we should do. So there are some people who are stuck in a career, their business, in their personal life. What does one get? How does one get unstuck in order to take the necessary action in the direction they would lead to life fulfillment? We want to go to another level, but we are afraid. We are saying that, oh, if we move on, we'll lose something. How can we decide what to lose to move on to something great? And how can we know there's something great in front of us? Just give us insight, help us through this, this grueling, life changing actions that a lot of us can teach and get to. Thank you.
Okay, when we talk about getting unstuck, you realize one thing that I really want us to run away from as ladies and as women in this generation is being passive in our own lives, handing the responsibility of us getting unstuck to someone else, to a husband, to revolve our lives around someone else, either mother or someone, and handouts. And it's about your life and where you want to get it. And for me, I'll still go back to not just my story, but some of the things that I did and I can still do today, and I still do today. Because when you are a business owner, a broadcaster, I own a TV station and a radio station together with my husband, and we have about 5 radio stations in Ghana, and we have about 4 radio stations in the United States. Now, when you run such entities, you realize that you will get yourself at crossroads at so many times where you need to be able to get unstuck, not just from a bad life, but even from a good life to another better life. So you realize that we are all in different statuses. But there is one thing that has really helped me, and that is the character trait. To check myself and make an audit. What character traits don't I have that I need to get in order to get or to disentangle myself? Because some of us, we get stuck and it seems like a whole web that is surrounding us. Like we cannot even get ourselves out of it. But the moment you know that it's the focus that I lack, that is the character trait that I lack. Can I close this gap? Can I learn to focus? Can I concentrate? Is it the courage that I lack? Can I be able to work on the courage? Because the fear is going to be there. But the people that have made it, it's not like they didn't have fear, but they did it anyway. They did it in spite of the fear that they were facing. So that means they chose. So we have a tendency of thinking, oh, that is how I was created. No, if I was created without a sense of patience, I can learn while I'm adulting that, by the way, patience is one of the virtues that I need to get in order to get unstuck in certain situations. That boldness is something that I need in order to get through. And aside from the character trait, because I'll speak on that and I will take long, I want us to get into the habit of knowing where we are not good and get the competence that we need. What competences don't you have? These days, the world is shifting. If you need to be competent at communication, if you need to be competent at putting yourself out there, at building a brand, at speaking, at being a coach, we have so many mentors, we have so many coaches, we have so many people that have gone ahead of us, and they're willing to hold our hands. Where is your incompetence? Can you work on that? Because sometimes we don't have the things that we want in life because we are not as good as we think we are. So if you really think you are so good and you don't need anything, then you're putting a glass ceiling on yourself and there is no growth to have. And the last one I will say about this, getting unstuck, is the confidence. Because after you get the skill in the competence, what decides and determines that you're going to use that skill is the confidence. Are you confident enough to use the skill that you have gotten or the competences that you have earned through reading, through mentorship, and through everything? If the world, is for the confident. They take it anytime. They show up. They're unstoppable. They have nothing to lose. They're like, you know what? I am here and I'm here and I'm not going away. I have showed up to work. I want this deal. I want that. Why? Because they know that it belongs to anyone that is it's for taking. So we take it, and even the Bible says that we take it by force. So if we are still dilly-dallying and just staying stuck and wanting to be cute and nice as ladies, no, you can be cute and brave. You can be cute and courageous and unstoppable and go and get what belongs to you. But that means that you have to get yourself unstuck.
Wow. It's so many insights, within a short period of time. And like I told my audience, the same things keep, bubbling up from all our guest speakers. Be bold, create a habit, change your character. If you have a deficiency in an area, build it. Don't say I'm made like that. Work on it. And it's the same narrative over and over again. So we are in the right place. That means we're getting the right information that people need to get, because many people are saying the same thing. Therefore, there's truth in what is being confessed or professed on this stage. Thank you. This is the Growth Conference. If you're joining us again, so Doctor, can you tell us, you know, there are times when people have done what they believe was best for their situation, yet it seems that their ladder was still leaning on the wrong wall. Like, I've done everything. My character, I did. You said I should work on my habits, I did. You said I should do this. I'm doing everything, but I'm moving nowhere. What do you think? What is that bad eye view the person cannot see? Can you help the person look at it differently? Change the perspective. What are they doing wrong? Even if they're following everything that we have said in this conference, but nothing is moving on. Can you help people like us, people like them, you know, say what exactly, or give an insight why they are still struggling? Thank you.
Okay. And this happens, the feeling like you have placed a ladder on the wrong wall. And the bad thing that I see about this is sometimes we notice after it is quite late. After we have reached the glass ceiling, after we have reached the end of it all, and then there's nothing more for us. And then we notice, all along, my ladder was actually on the wrong. And so many of us, because we do not look for the right information. We do not upgrade. I will speak very briefly about upgrading your information in 2023. Who do you listen to? Where do you get your information from? A lot is trending and a lot is going viral, but it doesn't mean it is relevant. It doesn't mean that it is very useful in our lives. So that means you should be able to give your ears to people with not just content. It's not just about content. It's about relevance and something that is applicable in your life, and not jump onto any trending train and not jump onto any trending career or trending business. That is why we mentor people into finding their purpose, into knowing what they're passionate about, what they were called to do, where do they feel like their energies should be able to actually go. And one thing that I see about this is, when you see that your ladder has been on the wrong wall all the time, it causes frustration. But I want us to redefine frustration, because frustration is your friend. Frustration is your best friend. Frustration is telling you that you need to recreate. So that means frustration is not telling you you're doomed. This is the end of it. You are dead and nothing can happen. So many people are pivoting at 50 years old, at 40 years old, and they're 20 years old that are thinking, I am dead and I'm giving up on life. That is why the previous speaker said that when you look at the Gen Zs and the Alphas, as in they're not as resilient as the millennials or the Generation X. But you realize resilience when you look at frustration and you're really frustrated. What is that frustration telling you? That frustration is telling you that you can recreate. I will take you briefly to the story of the creation. When God looked at creation and said, oh, it's beautiful. And then after that, he looked at his creation afterwards during the times of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he said, no, I have done something wrong. I think I need to recreate. I need to create an ark and make sure that you take two of everything. I need to start over again. So if the creator of the universe can start over on his creation that he originally said, this is so beautiful, this is good, who are you not to recreate your life? That when you get to decide that this ladder is on the wrong wall and say, I need to recreate, who do I need in my corner? Can I look for a mentor? Can I look for a coach? Can I look for someone that is doing exactly what I want to do, or someone that is making it in my industry? Can I be able to glean? Can I be able to learn? Can I be able? And it takes humility for you to even listen to what frustration is telling you and to be able to recreate something out of your life. And then frustration means you need to accelerate, means you are slow, means something needs. Some of us, we take, do you know when you turn like a fuso? I don't know whether you understand a fuso, but a trailer turns so slow. Now, some of us, when we get to the wrong wall and we notice that this is a wrong wall and my ladder has been leaning on it, we take our time to think and to pray. And guess what? The word that God gave me for this year is it's a season of green light, and we have been told to go, so step on the gas. That means if you're turning, you don't take your time to turn slow. Make sure that you are decisive. That, you know what, I have known that this is the wrong wall. Now, how do I come down and how do I build again from scratch? It could be a business, and maybe you chose a different passion, and that is not what you're passionate about. And you need to go from cosmetics to actually hair. And that is a pivoting for you. You need to go from, let me say, from import and export, and you need to be able to go into mentoring and building a community. People are changing so many things, but you need to be able to know that frustration is telling you something. Listen and hearken and be able to recreate and change something. And then frustration is your motivation. Believe me, if you feel you are not where you're supposed to be, it's telling you something. That decide now and make sure that you change either into a different arena or get more knowledge about it, or get someone who is more knowledgeable about it. But it's always telling us something. So you knowing it, and there are people who never realize that they're on the wrong. You can see and clearly see how they are on the wrong trajectory, but for them, they cannot see. So if God ever gives you the insight to even detect that I'm on the wrong route, make a turn. And if you discover and you think this is too late, it is never too late for you to change. Make that turn as well.
Wow, thank you, Doctor. You have, you threw in a lot into the bucket, but what, highlighted was frustration. You've told us that take frustration as that negative thing to become output. Take it as, let me look at this frustration again. Let me see that maybe it's telling me something else. That is my cue, not what is supposed to destroy me. It is my cue to ask more questions, get knowledge, ask questions, get a mentor. Tell me more about why I'm frustrated than to just give up and say, you know what, I'm done. You can pivot at any age. You said it there. God pivoted at the time after he said everything was perfect. So we as human beings always have a chance to change our direction, change our environment, change our relationships. If they are not, helping us thrive, you have really, given us so much, Doctor. We're so excited. We're thankful for, bringing your knowledge here. We appreciate this. And the final one, before we, close your session, and you have really used your personal experience to share with us what it means to take action. So we're asking, what past experiences, what does our past experiences have to do with someone's inability to take action in the right direction? Something happened to me in the past. Oh, I'm not going to take that risk. No, 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 no. It has happened. I tried and it failed. So no more. I'm out of it. So can you tell us how we can remove or decouple our minds from that mindset of like, so because it happened in the past, so why can't you do something else in the future of the same thing? Why don't you look at it differently and move forward? Give us insight on how we can manage ourselves, our minds ourselves, to accept that, oh, it's in the past, but can we still go to the right direction? How can you help us with that? Let's wrap up the session with that.
Okay, I think number one, I would love you to, just like I've done so many times, extend grace to yourself. We extend grace to other people, but we never extend grace to ourselves. We usually demand perfection of ourselves. We demand the grit. We demand the resilience we demand. But sometimes when we fall short, it doesn't mean that we should crucify ourselves. Can you be able to extend grace to yourself? And know that, by the way, you can map your life I've taken time to do this. I hope that you can take time to do this. Everything that is manifesting right now, be it fear, it is coming from somewhere. It has a root cause somewhere. It could be in your past, it could be in your present. But the moment you see it, one thing about parents, because again, women, we are nurturers, be very, very careful. Sometimes what you are going through is not because of what you have done or the fear that you possess, but it's because you saw it, you saw someone go through that fear. Like for so long, I had given up on marriage. I'd said, I will never get married. I'd say, because I had seen my father and my mother and how it was a toxic relationship, a very narcissistic relationship. And I mean, I chased away everyone. I did not give anyone the day or the time of day. And I remember my mother holding my hands and telling me, I am praying for you. You will get a man that is not like your father. You will get a man that adores you, that loves you, and just give love chance. I'm praying for you. You will thrive in your own marriage. I will tell you fast forward. I am living the happiest marriages in the world. I mean, I am the happiest woman alive. I got married late. I gave birth to my children late, but I couldn't change it. If I had to go back and do it again, I would do it at the age that I did it. Why? Because, I mean, God answered my mother's prayer and my prayer that I would get someone who loves me, adores me, respects me, and is loyal to me. So the fright and the fear could have kept me out of the relationships and the marriage, and I could have missed something good. Can you ask yourself, what if? Because the what ifs we ask are usually negative. What if it goes wrong? What if it fails? What if I start a business and it collapses? What if it thrives? What if you turn out to be the happiest person on earth? Can you be able to live with it knowing that you abandoned a course that could have turned out the right way? That is why we say give it a try and give it a shot. And one of the things that we should be able to do while I am actually concluding is God is not going to come and do anything for you. You have your part and God has his part. He has his own responsibility. He says plant, he says water, he says prune, do everything and I will make it rain and I will make sure that you actually get to the harvest that you really want. So I need you to take action even when the fear is there. Do it anyway. Upgrade your information. Make sure that you're not working on the last information. Make sure that you upgrade your execution. Okay, it's time to execute. That means you execute without thinking, what if, what if, what if. Yes, I know risks can be calculated, but sometimes the go-getters never even calculate. They say, you know what, let me go and I will find out. It's good to have both states of mind and to be able to flourish in the world. And then the last one I will say, that insulate yourself. You know, insulating, like the insulated wires. Negativity is very contagious. When you dwell with someone or you have ever been with someone that is negative, has a negative attitude, it will automatically grow on you and you will be so negative about everything, projects, businesses, relationships, anything that would have taken you ahead. So you cannot insulate your, separate from family, separate from spouse. You cannot separate from the best people in your life, but you can insulate yourself. You can choose to say that my priorities are not going to be your priorities and your priorities are not going to be my priorities. But it doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you, but I can have different sets of priorities and I can chase my purpose and chase my greatness despite the fact that I'm in a love relationship or we are married or you are my sibling. So let's learn to insulate ourselves, and that is how we're going to be able to take away the fear and the negativity and be able to embrace the new greatness that is ahead of us and the things that we need to do.
Wow, 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 Doctor. You have filled us. You are our you are our first speaker, but you became, our last speaker for the day. But you have filled us, with so much energy. Drop the energy ball. You picked it up and you're raising it up the roof. And I know that everyone, I can see the comment section, everybody is picking up nuggets. And I know those nuggets, resonate with them. You said so much about frustration. You said that these things can help you move forward. You talked about insulating ourselves. Negativity is very contagious. And then extend grace to yourself. But more importantly, if rather than saying what if, why don't you say why not? What if, why not? Let us change the grammar. Let us interchange. Let us switch it up, and we'll would get to the level that we want to get to. Thank you so much, um, Doctor. You have, been insightful. You have shared with us, important part of your life here on screen with a lot of people across the world. I'm sure people are happy and they are clapping for you in the comment section. I wish you can look into it. Everybody's engaging. Thank you so, so much. We appreciate it. Everyone, please, we need virtual applause, virtual smileys, virtual thumbs up. Please just put it there for the amazing, amazing Dr. Bahati. I appreciate your time. We thank you so much for being part of the Growth Conference and giving your time to us. I appreciate it. Thank you from the team and everybody else. So